The story opens at Baron Palay's mansion, located just outside the capital city of the Atlan Empire. Creek. A woman with dark hair watches from a window as a noisy carriage arrives, bringing a pink-haired lady and her entourage. A maid opens the door, announcing to Lady Luna that her guests have arrived. The maid, Laura, hesitates, finding the guests unsettling, but Lady Luna calmly reassures her that it is okay. Step. Decisively, Lady Luna decides to go out and face her visitors. Lady Luna muses to herself, revealing she had been anticipating this very arrival. Thud. As Luna confronts the group, she thinks her long-awaited guest has finally arrived, surprising the ladies. Bam. The pink-haired lady notes Luna's reclusive nature and announces she has come with something specific to say. Lady Luna listens with a resolute and serious expression. Luna finally speaks, greeting her rival coolly. "Long time no see, Lady Flory," with a slight nod. Lady Flory suggests they head inside the mansion. Lady Flory watches as Luna Palay walks ahead into her home. Inside, the guests whisper amongst themselves, cruelly mocking the mansion's shabby state and comparing it to a commoner's house. They continue to gossip, calling the family's status a shameful disgrace to the nobility. Lady Flory feigns politeness, quieting her friends by sarcastically remarking that Lady Palay is trying hard to restore her clan. But her inner thoughts are cruel, sneering that Luna is shamelessly clinging to Sir Rodrian to save her family. Luna sighs, realizing her rival is showing her true colors and wondering if she appears to be an easy target. Standing alone in the hall, Luna understands these rich ladies have not come for a simple, friendly chat. She braces herself, aware of their malicious true purpose. Her mind flashes to a comical, exaggerated vision of their intent, to grab her hair and physically beat her up. Fight? It's revealed that the source of all this conflict is the heir to the dukedom, Rodrian. The narration reveals she is the childhood friend of the handsome Fersen Rodrian. She softly thinks his name to herself, Fersen. Rustling. Suddenly, her expression hardens with fury as she inwardly blames that unmannered brat for all of this. A flashback begins, explaining her past as the famously poor daughter of Baron Palay, as a younger Luna calls for her family. Boof. She recalls her childhood struggles, stumbling in the dark because her family couldn't afford enough candles for the hall. As she cries on the floor, her worried parents and Laura rush to her side, calling out her name, Russell. Her mother gently picks her up, asking if she's okay. Surrounded by her loving parents and kind servants, she remembers feeling cherished and safe. But her childhood happiness was short-lived, as her life was about to take a dramatic and difficult turn. At her first social event, she is immediately singled out as the rumored Luna Palay, startling her. At the ball, nobles gossip loudly about her old dress, sneering that even commoners are not so poor. TSK. The cruel whispers follow her, judging her appearance and character while feigning pity for her father. A rumor begins to circulate about Lady Palay's desperate attempts to restore her clan's status. Choke. The rumor intensifies, framing her childhood friendship with Sir Rodrian as a shameless social climbing scheme, which startles her. The crowd's murmurs turn hostile, accusing her of not knowing her place and tarnishing the Duke's reputation. More tragedies befell her family. Their barony was destroyed in a mysterious fire. A string of misfortunes followed, with their only carriage destroyed and their horses gradually dying from poisoned grass. Despite the overwhelming hardship, she continued to press forward with determination. In a moment of despair, she tearfully questions why all of this is happening to her. She cries out in anguish, wondering what her family ever did to deserve such suffering. Knock knock. Back in the present, Laura nervously calls for Lady Luna from her doorway. Luna responds, and Laura hesitates at the door, clearly troubled about something. Russell. Laura presents a letter, explaining that it feels odd, which piques Luna's curiosity. One day, a strange letter with an ominous red wax seal had arrived for her. Horrified, Luna reads the letter, a death threat written in blood, warning her to stay away from Sir Fersen or be killed. Thud. The shock of the bloody letter causes her heart to pound as forgotten, untrue memories rush back to her. Bad dump. Her heart hammers in her chest as she stares at her own distorted reflection in a hand mirror. Bang! A shocking realization shatters her reality. She is a supporting character in a novel, obsessed with the male lead Fersen and destined to die. A magical book materializes as she grasps the full truth. She has been reincarnated as the novel's antagonist, As her guests chatter, Lady Florrie tells Luna that she knows exactly why they bully her. Luna calmly sips her tea, reflecting that she too knows the clear reason for their bullying. She realizes the bullying is because of Sierra Granada, the novel's true female lead, whom the original Luna was jealous of. The original Luna was consumed with jealousy over Sierra being Fersen's girlfriend. The narration explains that the other ladies harassed Luna to protect Sarah and Fersen, which ultimately leads to Luna's murder being disguised as an accident. Snuff. Snap back to reality, Luna is startled by Lady Florrie, who screams, demanding to know if she's even listening. Her entourage joins in, shouting at Luna to stay away from the young master, wake up, and stop being so cold-hearted. Internally, Luna's resolve hardens, thinking she won't regret taking a stand against them. As the ladies watch, Luna coolly decides her course of action is good. She shocks them by declaring she absolutely does not care about the young master and hates childhood relationships. Glare. With a bright smile, Luna asks if they understand, leaving Lady Florrie sputtering in disbelief. Ack. A flustered Lady Florrie coughs, refusing to believe Luna's lie as she looks on resolutely. Luna coldly calls Fersen dog's waste, prompting an outraged Florrie to threaten to tell him, which Luna coolly encourages. Rustle. Luna stands, instructing Florrie to tell Fersen she no longer needs to meet a guy like him. With a cryptic smile, she describes Fersen as a heartless maniac feared by all nobles. Fall. The scene reveals a formidable Fersen as Lady Florrie and her friends collapse in terror from Luna's words. Luna calmly dismisses her guests, telling Laura to see them out, leaving Lady Florrie stunned by her audacity. Swoosh. As they are ushered out, one of the ladies vows that Luna will pay for this. Bam. Once they're gone, Luna slams the door, finally letting her frustration show. She fumes that no one listens to her, while a chibi vision of Florrie calls her a poor lady. Seated at her desk, Luna considers her only remaining option, thinking this could have been avoided. Creak. She begins to write, thinking she doesn't want Fersen, as the ink spreads like blood. She pens a harsh letter to Fersen, urging him to sever ties with his unnecessary childhood friend for his own safety. The scene shifts to Fersen, who holds the letter in disbelief, heartbrokenly asking, "Why, Luna?" Exclamation mark. Quote, back in the present, Luna reflects on sending the letter, hoping to end her troubles even if the bullying continues. She muses that in this story, she is the villainess destined to be hated without reason. Click-clack. Her heels echo as she walks with purpose. Looking at the threatening letter, she decides that if she must be bullied her whole life, there is only one solution. The answer, she imagines with glee while lounging on a pile of gold, is simply money. In A Happy Memory, a younger Luna clutches a sheepskin scroll, seeing it as her ticket to overnight wealth. In the present, she holds the same scroll with a confident and knowing smile. Click-clack. She walks through the hall, deciding she should probably tell her father about this important matter first. As she walks, she lets out a weary yawn. She freezes in her tracks, suddenly alert. Startled, she looks up to see Fersen standing before her in the hallway. Fersen looks back at her, blushing slightly. Crash. He calls out her name in surprise as she stumbles backward in shock. Utterly bewildered, she wonders why he is in her house while he smirks at her from the doorway. Her mind flashes back to her harsh words, recalling she told the ladies to tell Fersen he was dog poop. Boom. She angrily confronts him, demanding to know why he's here after she severed ties, but he just asks if she sent the letter. Believing her insults were a joke, Fersen smiles brightly, thinking she's quite the kidder. Clap clap. As her head buzzes with disbelief, Fersen claps his hands together, amused. Luna glares, infuriated that he's completely misinterpreting her intentions and is impossible to communicate with. Thud. Ever since realizing she's in a novel, she's tried to avoid Fersen, but he always manages to find her. Whoosh. He playfully chases her through a rose garden, determined to get her attention. Thud. He corners her, asking if she loves hide-and-seek and vowing to do anything to play with her. Enraged, a comical chibi version of Luna screams at him to get out of her house. He cheerfully holds up a rose, delighted to have gotten a gift from her. Creak! Back in her room, Luna shuts the door, cursing the author for creating such an infuriatingly dense male lead. She turns around with a gasp, shocked to find Fersen is already inside her room, watching her intently. Luna's father, Baron Palais, warmly notes that she must have already greeted young Sick, Luna recalls her father's social life. Fersen and a young Luna cheer for the Baron, who is then praised by another noble, Rodrian young Sick. Her father laments to her that this man is his only remaining friend. Fersen clasps Luna's hands, declaring her a precious friend, while a chibi Luna seethes in annoyance. Luna reflects on her gentle father, who is well regarded in noble circles. Despite his good nature, she acknowledges that her father has one very serious flaw. His business sense is a disaster, as shown in a memory where he proudly invents a wine that still tastes like fish. He is also too easily swayed by others, his gullibility preventing him from ever gaining a fortune. She remembers him laughingly dismissing rumors about her and Fersen, much to her embarrassment. Unable to manage his own lands, her father now works a simple clerical job at the Rodrian estate. She resents how her father must bow to Fersen, the son of his superior. Back in her room, Fersen tells her father he'll bring him home by carriage later, causing Luna to stare in disbelief. Confused by Fersen's persistence, Luna asks what breed he is, but he just confirms he'll be escorting her father home from work. Fersen gives a cheerful wave, promising to see her in the evening. Fuming, Luna can't believe he completely ignored her attempt to sever ties. With a devious smile, she decides to prepare an extra seat for a distinguished guest at dinner. At dinner time, Fersen sits at the table with Luna and her father. Fersen praises the cozy estate and wishes he could stay the night, an idea the Baron happily encourages. Luna scoffs internally, wondering what exactly is so good about this situation. Her father gestures to an empty seat, asking Luna who the extra setting is for. Creak. Just as a guest is announced, Luna coolly states that they've arrived right on time. As Fersen wonders who's coming, Luna and Laura wait expectantly by the door. Thud. Luna confidently asks who else the guest could possibly be. She stands aside, ready to reveal her surprise. Fersen looks toward the doorway, his expression turning to shock. A stunning, elegant blonde woman makes her entrance. The woman, revealed to be Sierra Granada, calls out to Lord Fersen. Sierra is now seated at the dinner table, and a tense silence falls over the room. Both the Baron and Laura look on with anxious expressions during the awkward meal. Fersen breaks the silence, cheerfully noting that Luna's invited guest was Miss Sierra, who shyly agrees. The dinner table remains shrouded in an awkward quiet. Luna panics internally, realizing her plan has gone terribly wrong. She desperately wonders what happened, as her goal was to distract Fersen with his own girlfriend. Her mind flashes to what she had hoped for. A romantic, lovey-dovey scene between Fersen and Sierra. The problem is that Fersen is ignoring Sierra, instead trying to bond with Luna's father. Fersen jokingly recounts to Sierra how Luna threw a cake at him, and Sierra forces a laugh in response. Luna realizes her plan has backfired spectacularly, feeling like she's just poured oil on the fire. Trying to salvage the situation, Luna asks Fersen what kind of cake Sierra likes, causing Sierra to look distressed. Fersen casually explains that Miss Sierra can't eat cake because of allergies. While her father expresses his sympathy, Fersen cluelessly tells Luna to eat a lot, since she likes cake, infuriating her. Luna reflects that if Sierra wasn't such an angelic heroine, the dense Fersen might never have gotten a happy ending. As she muses that Sierra is a saint, Fersen calls her name, breaking her train of thought. Luna Fersen calls out again, finally startling her back to attention. Annoyed, Fersen asks how many times he called her and declares the current situation isn't working. Sensing her distress since she sent the letter, he offers to listen to the worries she can't share. He enthusiastically announces he'll stay overnight to hear all about her problems. As Fersen stands, ready to enact his plan, Luna begins to protest. No, Luna shouts, horrified by the dreadful suggestion. She guilt-trips him, asking if he intends to send Lady Sierra home alone in the dark. Fersen counters that Sierra has an escort, but offers to take her home himself and then return, grabbing her hand to confirm. As Sierra rises from the table, Luna panics, wondering what on earth Fersen is. Tears welling in her eyes, a flushed and humiliated Sierra turns away. Luna can only watch, completely stunned by the turn of events. Clack. As Sierra walks away, Luna jumps up, frantically calling for her to wait. Luna chases after the fleeing Sierra, desperately calling her name as she runs from the house. Outside, Luna tries to explain to a sobbing Sierra that she assumed Fersen would take her home. Luna apologizes profusely, insisting she never knew the evening would end like this. Sierra looks back over her shoulder, tearfully asking if Luna truly didn't know. Luna explains her focus was on Fersen due to their father's friendship, but Sierra internally concludes, as expected. With a hardened expression, Syrah glares back, realizing Luna's true intentions. Grasp. Syrah clutches a handful of cash, her plan forming. Syrah says her friends warned her that Luna's invitation was a scheme to drive a wedge between her and Fersen. Weeping, Syrah accuses Luna of now trying to leech money off of her as well. Syrah shoves a wad of cash at Luna, demanding she stop interfering with her and Fersen. Furious, Syrah throws the money at Luna, screaming at her to take it and get lost. Her friends rush to comfort the distraught Syrah, as Luna stands alone amidst the scattered bills. As her friends call Luna shameless, she absorbs their accusations, feeling completely defeated. Fersen rushes out of the house, calling Luna's name in concern. He grabs her shoulders, frantic that she left without a word, as a shocked Syrah looks on. Fersen presses Luna for an explanation, but she coldly tells him to get out. Overcome with rage, Luna screams at both Fersen and Syrah to leave. Fersen stares in confusion, asking why she's so angry as he tries to stop her from leaving. Frustrated, Luna storms away, unable to believe that Syrah would also turn on her. She fumes that while she understands Syrah's anger at Fersen, she never expected to be so disrespected. Luna realizes with a pang of betrayal that even the good-hearted heroine ultimately looked down on her. Back in her room, she stares at the scroll, vowing she's done being disrespected over money. With newfound resolve, she holds the scroll, determined to change her fate. The scene shifts to a man with a mustache, shouting that business isn't a joke. He storms into an office, accusing a blonde man of snatching his share and lacking ethics. The blonde man calmly retorts that the accuser is in no position to talk. The blonde man points out that his accuser set the commission rate without consulting anyone. He coolly explains that his guild simply responded in kind to an unfair contract, leaving the man speechless. The man with the mustache clenches his fist, warning the blonde man that he'll regret this. The blonde man smirks, pointedly asking if this is a threat against the Antares Guild. The flustered man stammers a final threat before turning to leave. Thwack! He bumps into a muscular man, angrily telling him to watch where he's going. Muscular man's menacing glare silences him as he recognizes the danger he's in. The mustache man flees in terror, while the blonde man asks his subordinate what's going on. The subordinate announces a visitor named Luna Palace, piquing the blonde man's interest. He wonders if she's another one of the flies swarming around Fersen, recalling their garden encounter. The blonde man's expression grows intense and calculating. A lone carriage makes its way down a country road. Inside, a determined Luna travels, her face cloaked and serious. Arriving at a grand building, Luna sits, noting how long it's been since she's traveled this far. She reflects on her family's perpetual struggle for money, which prevented any travel. Clutching the scroll, she reaffirms her belief that this document will change everything. The document in her hand is revealed to be the deed to part of the palace estate. She recalls secretly buying a barren mountain on the estate with what little money she had. Luna has a stunning realization. The secret of the barren land she bought is that it's a gold mine. Holding the deed, she considers the logistics, knowing she'll need a lot of workers, but confident she can figure it out. With a confident smile, she reaffirms that her knowledge of the future will ensure this opportunity isn't wasted, like in the original story. She arrives at an imposing building, wondering if this fancy place is truly the merchant group she's looking for. In a brief flashback, she asks a local man to recommend a good merchant group to hire as escorts for her journey. With a slightly suspicious smile, the man points her toward a group at the intersection, assuring her a warm welcome. Finding the location surprisingly decent, she opens the doors, pushing aside her doubts about the man's intentions. Inside, Luna nervously takes in her surroundings. A young man with his bangs covering his eyes politely gets the attention of the muscular bald subordinate. The bald man turns, surprised to see Luna, who asks to meet the head of the merchant group. Looking her over with disgust, the bald man dismisses her as mistaken and tells her to go back home. Luna insists she's on business, but he scoffs, calling her persistent and accusing her of playing a prank. He inwardly mocks her shabby clothes, as Luna's expression darkens with irritation. When he tells her to leave, she crosses her arms and flatly refuses. The bald man is taken aback as Luna coolly insults the entire merchant group based on his poor customer service. She warns him to remember her face because she's about to become a very important client. She taunts him, suggesting his boss will be furious if his lack of insight costs them a cash cow like her. The flustered and sweating subordinate finally relents, agreeing to show her in. Knock, knock. He timidly announces to his boss that he's brought the young lady he'd mentioned. Luna clenches her fist, steadying her nerves and hoping the meeting with the boss goes well. She enters the office only to find it empty. wondering where everyone is. Fearing she was tricked by the bald man, she whips around in alarm. She finds herself face to face with the blonde man from the Anthes Guild. Stunned, Luna can only stare up at him in confusion. A shocked Chibi Luna panics, realizing her potential business partner is incredibly handsome. She quickly snaps out of it, reminding herself now is not the time to be distracted. She explains her demanding request for laborers, whom she will pay for later, as the blonde man listens intently. Noticing his intense stare, she nervously asks him what's wrong. The blonde man confronts her directly, asking about the rumors of her being someone's lover. He continues, pointedly asking about her rumored relationship with Fersen. He states that he never imagined hearing such nonsense from someone he's never even met. Luna laughs, wholeheartedly agreeing that the rumors are completely absurd. He explains that Fersen, whom he calls Rodrian, talks about her constantly, which made him assume they were lovers, infuriating Luna. She flatly denies it, explaining that Rodrian already has a lover, which only confuses the blonde man more about his behavior. Luna angrily rants that Fersen is a delusional, self-absorbed nuisance to everyone around him. She clenches her jaw, declaring she wouldn't want him even if he were given to her. The blonde man calmly observes that her dislike for Rodrian seems even stronger than he'd been led to believe. With a saccharine smile, Luna cheerfully wishes that he would disappear from her sight forever. She asks if her feelings are clear enough, and he listens thoughtfully. Realizing they are off topic, Luna sighs and tries to get back to her business request. Thinking she's been rejected, she prepares to leave, but is stunned when he suddenly agrees to take her request. A close-up shows the blonde man's intrigued and calculating smile. His slight, confident smile remains as he considers their new partnership. The blonde man leads the way out of the office, with a still-shocked Luna following behind him. He enters a common area where his men are resting. They jump to their feet, greeting their boss as he prepares to make an introduction. He introduces Miss Luna Palace as their new client, and the men bow respectfully as she greets them shyly. Turning back to Luna, he tells her he will now make a proper introduction. He gestures toward the group as Luna looks on with wide, curious eyes. Luna stands in stunned silence, utterly bewildered by his last statement. Still reeling, Luna wonders if she misheard what the blonde man said, struggling to process his words. She realizes with a jolt that she's dealing with the infamous Anthes merchant group. She frantically recalls what she knows about the notorious Anthes trading company, which is backed by a powerful figure. Her blood runs cold as she identifies him. Anthes Vincent, the novel's ruthless villain. She remembers the grim rumors that the company pays tribute to him, making them a highly suspicious organization. The terrifying realization hits her. She has walked directly into the villain's den all by herself. Anthes warmly encourages her to relax, but Luna panics internally, knowing it's too late to back out of their contract. Jump! The bald subordinate suddenly leaps from his seat, calling out to her in surprise. He bows deeply, offering a profuse apology for his earlier rudeness toward her. When Anthes asks about the commotion, Luna smoothly waves it off, claiming it was nothing. Seeing his genuine remorse, she decides not to embarrass the subordinate in front of everyone. Inspired by her new status, the bald man and his comrades passionately vow to serve her with all their sincerity. With unsettling grins, they roar with laughter, enthusiastically demanding she place her trust in them. She finds their aggressive enthusiasm completely overwhelming and more than a little frightening. Noticing her worried expression, Anthes asks if she's all right, and she admits her concern about traveling with his men. He assures her they are all professional mercenaries, despite their rough looks, though she remains unconvinced. With no other options, she resolves to keep a low profile and finish her business as quickly as possible. She makes a firm vow to herself. She absolutely must not get deeply involved with Anthes. A mere 3 hours pass after she makes her solemn decision. Clank. 2 large mugs of ale are slammed together in a hearty toast. Forgetting her earlier resolve, a very merry Luna joins the mercenaries, raising her mug for a cheer. One of the mercenaries eagerly asks how she managed to get her revenge on Lord Rodrian. She gleefully demonstrates how she threw a cake in Fersen's face, delighting the listening man. Accepting another drink, she realizes she's befriended the group by complaining about Fersen. The men are furious on her behalf, decrying the vile rumors and how difficult it must have been for her. Luna happily agrees with their plan to fight the false rumors, while Anthes watches the scene unfold. After the merriment dies down, Anthes approaches her table and asks for her thoughts. He leans in close with a charming smile, asking if his men aren't as bad as she first thought. Sitting with Anthes, Luna admits with a genuine smile that it's been a long time since anyone welcomed her so warmly. He replies that his men likely feel a sense of camaraderie with her now, a word she thoughtfully considers. Her expression turns pensive as she contemplates the meaning of camaraderie. She recalls how the mercenaries instantly warmed up to her as soon as she began to speak. She wonders if they, too, have a grudge against Fersen, which would explain their sudden friendliness. Lost in thought, she is startled by Anthes' voice asking what she's staring at. He playfully teases her, asking if she's fallen for his handsome face, which she frantically denies. Still flustered but resolute, she tells him there is something else she is curious about. As Anthes waits patiently, she gathers her thoughts before asking her question. She states seriously that there's something she just can't understand, no matter how much she considers it. He listens with a focused and neutral expression, waiting for her to continue. Leaning forward, she abandons her relaxed posture, her demeanor becoming serious and direct. She finally asks the question that has been bothering her. Why is he speaking to her so informally? Anthes' expression remains unreadable as he calmly processes her direct challenge. He simply asks what, while the nearby mercenaries gasp in collective shock at her audacity. The men leap to their feet, frantically trying to downplay the issue and telling her not to worry about it. She internally scoffs at their panic, deeming it unacceptable for him to speak informally when they've just met. She reminds him of her status as a baron's daughter, giving him a chance to correct his impolite behavior. Completely unfazed, Anthes leans back and coolly suggests they simply continue talking casually to each other. His bold counterproposal leaves her utterly stunned and speechless. As his men look on in horror, Luna shouts her refusal, but Anthes simply remarks that it's a shame. He leans in closer with devastating charm, softly pleading, "Please, Lady Luna," leaving her blushing and flustered. Though flustered by his charm, she inwardly admits that his face is her type. Luna stands her ground, refusing his casual offer and thinking that his good looks won't work on her. The mercenaries watch in stunned silence as Luna and Anthes face off in a tense standoff. Unfazed, Anthes counters with another offer, piquing a confused Luna's interest. To secure her trust, he proposes that the Anthes Trading Company will provide her with a guarantee. He specifies that he's offering a royal certification, leaving Luna completely dumbfounded. She panics internally, shocked that he would bring up something as significant as a royal certification. She realizes he is offering a high-priced insurance policy backed by the royal family itself. The explanation details how the insurance provides royal support and compensation if a contract fails. Luna is overwhelmed, wondering why he would offer her something so massive and valuable. She gathers her courage and directly asks him why he's doing so much for her. Dazzle. He simply gives her a radiant, charming smile in response. His perplexing charm leaves Luna and the nearby mercenaries utterly baffled. The scene shifts to the grand and sunlit Rodrian estate. Fersen stands silently by a window, his expression troubled and somber. A subordinate informs Fersen that Luna has gone to the palace territory, suggesting she's likely at Vincent's nearby estate, but doesn't know when she'll return. Fersen feels betrayed, wondering why she left without a word when he believes they are closer than anyone. He tells himself that she's short on funds and can't be gone long, but admits he can't help but worry. He summons a servant, addressing him as young master. With grim determination, Fersen commands his servant to prepare the carriage immediately, as he is leaving at once. A 4-horse carriage departs from the estate at a brisk pace. In the carriage, Fersen reflects on how strangely Luna has been acting lately. He daydreams about their youth, misremembering a smiling Luna telling him she loves him. A bright warning sign flashes, identifying his happy memory as one of Fersen's delusions. He puzzles over why Luna now claims to hate him, wondering why she keeps telling such lies. Fersen's eyes widen, as he has a sudden shocking realization. His delusion spirals as he imagines a fairy-like Luna preparing a surprise party just for him. An adorable, cat-eared Fersen blushes, thinking Luna didn't have to go to such great lengths for him. He settles back, completely convinced that there's no way Luna could possibly hate him. He smiles, confident in his belief that they are each other's most precious friends. Shiver. Elsewhere, Luna is suddenly struck by a powerful, ominous chill. Getting out of her carriage, she stumbles and wonders about the deeply unpleasant feeling that just washed over her. Thump. A hand gently catches her back, stopping her fall. Anthes steadies her, observing with concern that her complexion has suddenly gone pale. She insists she's fine, but confesses she had a feeling Fersen was nearby, prompting Anthes to sympathize with her ordeal. Anthes then introduces an auditor from the imperial court, who will be accompanying them for a few days. Luna politely greets the auditor, realizing with a jolt that Anthes really did secure imperial certification. She admits to herself that at first she honestly didn't believe it was possible. As their group travels, she reflects that he's provided mercenaries and hasn't taken a single penny. She frowns, annoyed at the thought that he did all of this just to speak informally with her. Finally breaking the silence, she gets Anthes' attention. She demands to know his name, pointing out the inconvenience of traveling with a stranger for days. Anthes listens to her request with a thoughtful expression. He playfully suggests that she can simply call him Captain. He explains it is what his men call him and teases that it creates a sense of camaraderie, leaving her confused. Exasperated, Luna tells him to just be direct if he doesn't want to share his name. She glares, completely unable to figure out his strange motivations. A tiny, frustrated Luna internally screams that he's a truly strange person, while he remains perfectly composed. As they arrive at the Rocky Pales estate, Anthes asks if this is their destination, and Luna confirms it. Anthes finds it interesting, cheekily asking if she plans to collect rocks, while she accuses him of feigning ignorance. With a confident smirk, Luna declares that they are obviously going to mine the mountain, planning to dig it up as if to demolish it. Anthes thoughtfully observes the ordinary-looking mountain, admitting she must know what's buried there. Luna explains they will do a trial dig today, and then officially hire workers for the main excavation. Having finished her explanation, she gives a satisfied smile. With a menacing glow, Luna rallies the men for some fun work, and they enthusiastically agree, albeit with terrified expressions. The men vow to finish their work by sunset as the afternoon passes. Clang! A pickaxe strikes something hard and shiny in the rock, startling the digger. The bald mercenary holds up a glowing golden nugget in shock, calling for his captain to come see. He excitedly proclaims they've discovered a massive gold mine, with rich deposits visible at a glance. A stunned Anthes exclaims that Luna is going to become the richest person in the empire, dazzled by the sight. Luna reflects that this valuable mountain was sold for cheap in the original story, realizing her family was saved by her memory. Holding a large gold nugget, she triumphantly declares that the story has now changed. She lovingly cradles the gold, calling it her darling, and celebrating that her family's struggles are finally over. Anthes, also examining a nugget, agrees that the find is truly incredible. He marvels at the raw ore's purity, noting any jeweler would recognize it as top quality. Looking at the vast vein of gold, he confirms there's no question about its profitability. Luna nervously agrees, a worried, expressive little doodle floating beside her. Anthes slyly warns her that rough-looking mercenaries might stab her in the back after finding a gold mine, startling his men. Luna coolly reminds them the job has imperial certification, warning them to keep quiet as a menacing aura flares behind her. Mercenaries frantically deny being bad guys, tearfully reminding her they even drank together, until she admits it was just a joke. She tells them to work hard, and they enthusiastically get back to mining, yelling that there was never any doubt. Sigh. Watching them, Luna wears an exasperated expression, thinking what a handful they are. She confirms their deal will be done after they transport the ore and she pays, but Anthes ominously replies, "I'm not sure." She worries he might be trying to change the contract terms, especially since she planned on giving the men a bonus. He clarifies that he is referring to her comment about their relationship ending after payment. With a charming smile, he insists their relationship shouldn't end there. He stuns Luna by proposing that she sell the entire gold mine to the Anthes Guild, promising the highest price and more. She reflects that his guild has imperial certification, and finding another buyer of this scale would be difficult. However, she fears that making a deal with Anthes would be like walking straight into the lion's den. Seeing Anthes waiting patiently, she makes her decision. She announces that she has one condition. The scene pans out, showing her facing Anthes on the desolate, rocky cliffside. The scene shifts to the Rodrian Duke's mansion, where a blonde woman is shocked to learn Lord Fersen is not there. The woman, Lady Granada, tells a butler that Fersen had promised to meet her today. The butler, Gillian, apologizes profusely, explaining that the young master left again without a word. He lies, claiming Fersen was called away by unexpected, urgent business. Lady Granada's expression darkens with suspicion, wondering if his absence is because of Lady Luna again. The butler sweats, Thinking about how sharp Lady Granada is, his inner devil urges him to just tell the truth, chiding him for getting into this mess by covering for the young lord. His inner angel, however, pleads with him to protect the young lord and not hurt the kind lady's feelings. The two tiny figures argue about the stress Fersen is causing, with the angel worrying his engagement will be broken. K.O. The angel knocks out the devil, shouting that Gillian will be fired if the engagement ends. Having settled his internal conflict, the butler composes himself on the sofa. He firmly insists to Lady Granada that the young lord's urgent departure is absolutely not related to Lady Luna. Lady Granada quietly accepts his answer, though she looks downcast. She privately muses that she couldn't help but be suspicious, as Fersen has been talking about Lady Luna so much lately. Her gaze sharpens as she questions if she is the one being strange for doubting him. She worries that at this rate, she will lose not only Lord Fersen's attention, but also his heart. The butler, Gillian, assures Lady Granada that as the young lord's fiancée, she is his most important person. He explains that Fersen's meetings with Lady Pallas are just acts of pity for an old friend, urging her to ease her mind. Lady Granada reluctantly accepts his explanation and agrees to head back for the day. Once she's gone, Gillian collapses onto the sofa, moaning that he's going to die of stress. He wonders, in frustration, what is so special about that woman that has the young lord so hung up on her. The scene shifts to Luna and Anthes finalizing their business deal in his office. Anthes reviews the contract, confirming the deposit amount based on the terms she suggested. He presents the finalized scroll to a visibly shocked Luna. Though inwardly panicked by the huge sum, Luna coolly pretends it's exactly what she expected. Anthes recaps the key terms. He'll buy the ore at top market price and provide guaranteed personnel from his merchant group. Luna confirms the final condition is that the payment will be in advance, and Anthes agrees to prepare the check immediately. He hands her a guarantee, asking if she plans on heading to the capital next. Confirming her trip, Luna delightedly examines the massive stack of money he's given her. When asked about transport, she realizes she still needs to rent a carriage. As she fantasizes about what kind of carriage to ride, Anthes generously offers her one of his groups. Flustered, Luna insists he doesn't need to go to such lengths for her. She recalls his previous statement about feeling a sense of camaraderie with her. He gives her a dazzling smile, asking what's wrong with wanting to do nice things for her. Overwhelmed by his charm, a flustered Luna quickly agrees to meet again and makes her exit. As Anthes watches her leave, one of his men approaches with a question. The bald mercenary notes that this deal, especially providing a carriage, is different from his usual approach. Anthes explains that since Luna now owns a massive mine, he needs to stay in her good graces. He elaborates that he can't risk letting rivals snatch such an enormous opportunity. His men are awestruck by their chief's brilliant plan, while Anthes privately notes they're sharper than he thought. He reflects on Luna, noting that, contrary to rumors, she possesses a meticulous and sharp eye. He continues his assessment. She's a natural at handling people, more like a merchant than a noble lady. Yet he muses that there's something more to her than just that. He fondly recalls her furious, detailed rant about Fersen being a selfish, trashy psycho. The memory of her fiery rage remains his most vivid impression of her. A slight smile touches his lips as he thinks back on it. He realizes, with a pleasant smile, that he enjoys that side of her more than he initially thought. In the carriage, Luna delights in the plush, soft seating. Anthes stands before his guild headquarters, thinking that Fersen, the fool, ended up being useful by connecting him with Lady Pallas. A subordinate runs up to report that a guest has arrived without an appointment. The bald mercenary explains he ushered the guest in through the back to avoid them running into Lady Pallas. Anthes' expression sharpens, as he realizes with dread who the guest must be. Fersen sits in the office, arms crossed and scowling with impatience. Anthes enters, and Fersen immediately calls him an unwelcome guest, to which Anthes sarcastically asks if he thinks he wanted to be there. With a tired expression, Anthes asks Fersen why he is there. He smugly reminds Fersen that after their last fight, he swore he'd never see them again. Fersen dismisses the taunt, grimly stating he already knows everything and demands the truth. Rage erupts as he accuses Anthes of harming Luna and furiously demands to know where she is. Anthes feigns ignorance, claiming to have no idea what Fersen is talking about. Fersen lunges forward, accusing him of hiding Luna after she traveled through his territory. A knowing, smug smirk crosses Antares' face. He cruelly taunts Fersen, saying it's his own terrible behavior that makes Luna despise him and seek help elsewhere. Fersen snarls that it's all lies, insisting Antares must have deceived the innocent Luna. His eyes glowing red with fury, he screams, demanding to know what Antares did to Luna. Antares smirks, his name dramatically revealed as Anthes Vincent, while he enjoys Fersen's meltdown. Fersen's rage intensifies, his glowing red eye filling the frame as he once again screams, "What did you do to Luna?" With a sinister smile, Anthes Vincent enjoys Fersen's furious, desperate reaction. Antares complains that dealing with someone who won't listen is a hassle, but then condescendingly agrees to tell Fersen the truth. He provocatively claims that he and Luna have become quite close. Fersen is stunned as Antares asks if he wants to hear more. Antares twists the truth, claiming he and Luna developed a trust beyond friendship as an important client, and even spent nights together mining gold, shattering Fersen's composure. In utter denial, Fersen insists Luna would never be interested in someone like Antares. Antares coolly asks what Fersen means by that, prompting an angry outburst. Fersen furiously reveals that Luna once said she would rather date Antares, a rumored psychopath, than him. A small, thoughtful smile plays on Antares' lips as he processes this new information. Fersen, regaining his composure, clutches his sword and dismisses the story as a trick, insisting the real Luna would never say such a thing. Drawing his sword, he furiously accuses Antares of deceiving his innocent friend and declares he won't let it slide. Swoosh! In a flash of movement, the tables are turned. Fersen gasps in shock, realizing his own sword is suddenly gone. Antares now holds the sword, calmly warning Fersen that his delusions could become an illness, and that he's only letting it go because he's in a good mood. Crack! With unnerving strength, Antares snaps Fersen's sword in half. Antares smugly warns that if provoked again, he'll show Fersen what a real psychopath is, while Fersen mourns his broken precious thing. Horrified, Fersen panics, shouting that he has to do something and wondering if Luna really likes this monster. Fersen flees, vowing revenge, while Antares calls him pathetic and muses about the next ridiculous rumor he'll spread. The bald mercenary bursts in, alerted by the loud noise, and asking if his chief is all right. He offers to chase Fersen down, but Antares gives a new order: wreck Fersen's carriage and make sure he can't rent another in their territory. Antares announces he's heading to the capital, leaving his subordinate to wonder about the urgent business. Putting on his coat, Antares explains he has some paperwork to finalize with a very important client. He adds that Fersen's words have also been bothering him. Dressed sharply, Antares heads out with a determined smile. The scene transitions to the bustling streets of the capital. At an outdoor cafe, a pink-haired lady shares a story with her two friends. The pink-haired lady leans in to share some fresh gossip. She gleefully reveals it's about Lady Palace's latest wicked deed. Her friends react with weary disdain, remarking that Luna never seems to tire of her antics. The gossiper claims Luna invited Lady Granada, mistakenly called Lady Sierra by the friends, to her decrepit house for a meal, earning pity for Granada. The tale gets worse as she claims Luna flaunted her friendship with Lord Rodrian to mock Lady Granada, shocking her audience. The friends become indignant, declaring they need to step in and help the kind Lady Sierra against Luna's bullying. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of a fancy carriage. Luna steps out of the carriage, provided by Antares, and thanks her escort. The escort asks for her next destination, explaining he's under orders from the chief to accompany her. Luna declares with a cool smile that she's going to spend her overflowing wealth, leaving her escort awestruck by her confidence. She laughs, revealing she was kidding and just wants to buy gifts for her family, and the escort suggests a famous dessert shop. Learning it's a popular spot with a line, Luna considers the idea, realizing it's been a while since she indulged in such luxuries. She agrees to go, happily thinking about what presents to get for her father, Emma, and Laura. As she walks, a new thought strikes her, and her expression turns serious. The scene shifts to Luna standing inside a clothing boutique. She reflects that her shabby appearance causes people to underestimate her, and decides it's time to buy some proper clothes. Luna asks her escort if there's a high-end boutique nearby. The escort correctly guesses she wants the most expensive one, and she confirms he read her mind. Ding! They arrive at the grand entrance of the capital's most exclusive boutique. Luna is impressed by the boutique's grandeur, wryly hoping a single outfit doesn't cost as much as a house. As they enter, she notices the shop attendants whispering amongst themselves. The attendants judge them by their clothes, dismissing them as shabby errand runners instead of customers. Luna grows annoyed at being ignored, wondering aloud if they need a reservation. Just then, the gossiping ladies from the cafe arrive, and one points out that Luna's dull dress looks strangely familiar. The pink-haired Lady Flory is praised by her friend for her keen eye, mocking Luna's shabby dress and calling her a commoner. Lady Flory and her friends sneer, claiming Luna can't afford anything, and accusing her of shamelessly begging Lord Rodrian for money. Luna's escort glares at the nobles, but Luna tells him to ignore them, as their words won't deter her from her goal. With newfound confidence, Luna announces to the boutique staff that she'll take the most expensive dress they have. The three gossiping ladies are momentarily stunned by Luna's bold declaration. Howls of laughter erupt as the ladies mock Luna's supposed cluelessness, with one friend calling her a wretch who can't even afford a ribbon. Luna walks over and calmly asks them to keep it down, as she's also there to shop. Incredulous, one of the friends scoffs at Luna, dismissing her as a beggar. With a hand over her heart, Luna stands her ground with unshakable confidence. Looking directly at the women, Luna boldly declares she'll do whatever they tell her to. With a confident smile, Luna proposes they make a bet. The ladies scoff, questioning Luna's confidence, since everyone knows she's penniless, but Lady Flory finds the proposal interesting. Hiding a smirk behind her fan, Lady Flory accepts the bet, reminding Luna of her request for the most expensive dress. Luna smiles inwardly, knowing her target took the bait, and tells the ladies to just watch. Lady Flory settles onto a sofa, looking smug and ready for a show. Lady Flory challenges Luna to buy the boutique's priciest custom dress, vowing they'll even lick her shoes if she can afford it. Unfazed, Luna turns to an attendant and coolly requests a catalog as well. The ladies whisper, wondering if Luna has lost her mind, and mock her maid-like appearance. While Luna casually flips through a catalog, the ladies continue to sneer that even her family's entire estate wouldn't be enough. Lady Flory and her friend plot to tear Luna's dress and kick her out, just as Luna calmly announces that she's made her decision. Shocking everyone, Luna declares that she'll take everything in the entire store. The ladies collapse in disbelief, as Luna clarifies she'll pay by check but refuses to buy the dresses they chose. As her escort hands over payment, the ladies furiously accuse Luna of stealing the money. An attendant nervously presents the payment to the boutique manager for verification. The manager's eyes widen in shock as he recognizes a black check for top-tier VIPs, immediately declaring Lady Palace a VIP and causing Lady Flory to gasp in horror. The manager frantically orders his staff to bring out all the most exquisite dresses, jewelry, and shoes for their esteemed guest. Eek, overcome with shock, Lady Flory faints dramatically on the sofa. Luna looks on with a satisfied, knowing smile. Beaming happily, Luna announces to the staff that it's time to start looking at clothes. The attendants begin showcasing the boutique's newest seasonal collection, highlighting its unique lace designs. The staff enthusiastically recommends various exquisite dresses, from an olive gown to a bold red velvet. Overwhelmed with countless suggestions for dresses, jewelry, and accessories, Luna pauses to consider her options. Deciding it's too hard to choose, Luna simply asks the stunned attendant to pack up everything they've shown her. Luna adds a request for a necklace, shoes, and a ribbon, and the attendant hurries to prepare her order. The conscious ladies whisper frantically, speculating that the check is forged or that Luna will just return everything later. Casually, Luna reveals she has a gold mine with more money than she knows what to do with. Stunning the ladies into silence, Lady Flory leaps up, refusing to believe it and demanding to know why she lived like a pauper, but Luna simply says it's reality. With a triumphant smile, Luna reminds them they lost the bet and asks what they plan to do. Puffed, Luna dismisses their promise to lick her shoes and offers to change the command as Lady Flory seethes with humiliation. Luna reminds them that with so many witnesses, breaking their promise will start juicy rumors, admitting she planned it all. The manager respectfully interrupts to inform Luna her jewelry and shoes are ready, with the dresses to be delivered after alterations. As the manager bows deeply, expressing hope for her return, Luna prepares to depart, Luna coldly rebukes the manager, stating she has no desire to return to a boutique that judges its customers by their appearance. Vowing to correct their ways, the entire staff bows low as Luna walks out with her head held high. Pausing at the door, Luna turns to the terrified ladies, reminding them they still have a task to fulfill. She announces her simple command as the scene shifts to grand, faraway mansions. Luna orders them to walk back to their respective mansions, forbidding them from using carriages or receiving any help. The world of the noble ladies turns upside down, their status shattered by Luna's command. "Are you serious?" Lady Florrie shouts in outrage, protesting the immense distance to her mansion. Luna feigns sympathy about the long walk, then slyly mentions there is another option. With a cunning smile, Luna reveals their alternative punishment: become her maid for the next year. As Lady Florrie seethes in silent fury, Luna adds that she'll accept them even if they're not very useful. Flustered, Lady Florrie's friends try to flee, but she tells them to wait, stopping them in their tracks. Her escort asks if she's ready to leave, and Luna agrees to go, leaving the three defeated ladies behind. Luna reflects that while her revenge may seem harsh for a simple slight, the ladies brought it upon themselves. She reveals her true motivation: revenge for her enemies, killing her family's horse, and destroying their only carriage. They didn't stop there, even hiring thugs to cause a landslide that blocked the road to her family's estate. This forced her father to travel in a rickety cart, and she recalls him bravely saying goodbye. She remembers feeling guilty, but her father had simply reassured her that he was fine despite the discomfort. Her father had promised to work hard to get their carriage back. While Luna thought about the relentless torment she and her loved ones faced, she recalls them inciting a fire at their mansion and sending blood-filled threats as the noble women trudge away. Luna knows that if she doesn't fight back, she'll meet the same tragic end as the Luna in the original novel. With steely resolve, she decides she has no intention of dying quietly. Vowing that those who harmed her family will pay, Luna declares her counterattack has just begun as her carriage departs. Arriving home late at night, Luna opens a door and calls out for Laura. She's surprised to find her father waiting up, and he asks if it's really her. Her father explains he had a feeling she'd be home, even though she was meant to return the next day. He lovingly takes both of her hands in his. He tenderly asks if she's unhurt and hungry after her journey. Visibly touched, Luna smiles and thanks him for his concern. Her father worries she came home early from lack of funds, but she explains she just finished her business sooner than expected. Luna then makes a sudden request: that he quit his job at the Duke's mansion. Shocked, her father asks if she's ill or needs him to care for her. Luna confidently says no, firmly gripping her purse. Beaming with a bright smile, Luna declares that, from now on, she will take care of him. She repeats her determined promise to take care of him. Her father reminds her that they can't simply become rich overnight. Luna counters that there is a way, asking if he recalls the estate they previously sold. She presents a document, revealing she bought that land and a massive gold mine was just discovered there. As her father stares at the contract money in shock, Luna explains they'll have a steady income once mining operations begin. Overcome with emotion, her father apologizes for being an unworthy father, catching Luna by surprise. Luna quickly reassures him, begging him not to say such things. His words trigger a painful memory for Luna. Phew. In a flashback, a very young Luna shivers alone in the cold snow. Her frantic father rushes to her side, worried that his little Luna must be freezing. He gently warms her face, asking if she's caught a cold. Her father laments his failings as a single parent, but young Luna calls out to him. Young Luna reaches for a hug, sweetly promising not to giggle if her dad holds her. Touched by his daughter's love, her father blushes. Back in the present, Luna hugs her father, assuring him he's not lacking, and she knows how hard he worked for her. Father and daughter share a heartfelt, comforting embrace. Holding his hands, Luna says she has one more thing to ask, and he agrees to do whatever he can. With a gentle smile, Luna asks him to manage the gold mine for her. She explains it's her turn to take care of the family and give him the life he sacrificed for her. Her father's eyes widen, filled with overwhelming emotion. He beams with pride and love for his daughter. Later, Luna finishes a delicious meal. Luna praises Emma's cooking, and Emma happily notes she'll need her energy after such a long trip. Wiping her mouth, Luna muses that her father has probably gone to quit his job. She smiles slyly, realizing that with her father gone from the Duke's household, she'll see much less of Fersen. Luna presents a gift to a surprised Emma, thanking her for always cooking delicious meals. Emma hesitates, worried about Luna's finances, but Luna insists she open it, hoping for more roasted duck in return. The gift box opens to reveal a magnificent, sparkling jeweled brooch. Aghast, Emma protests that she can't accept such a valuable gift, as Laura and Henry rush in frantically. Henry storms in with Laura, shouting that fraudulent orders have arrived in Luna's name. Luna calmly turns to her panicked staff, reassuring them not to worry because she ordered everything. She then presents gifts to Laura and Henry as well, who are confused about how she could afford them. Laura and Henry's eyes pop out in utter shock as they see the brilliant gifts inside their boxes. Gasp! Overcome with shock, Laura and Henry faint dramatically, and Luna urges them to wake up. Exasperated, Luna sits with her arms crossed, wondering if this is a dream or if she's being sold off. As her tearful staff questions her, Luna shouts that she earned the money by discovering a gold mine. Emma cries with relief, admitting she hated seeing Luna and her father looked down upon. Elated, Henry declares Luna could become the richest person in the Empire, while Laura wonders if it's a dream. Luna reassures them it's real, apologizing for the surprise and the boutique's unexpectedly fast delivery. Suddenly remembering the new clothes, the staff urge a startled Luna to get ready. Emma excitedly gestures to racks of new gowns, insisting Luna must try on hundreds of outfits. With a menacing aura and glowing eyes, her staff vows to spend the day playing dress-up, terrifying Luna. Giving in, Luna tells them to take their time as they excitedly lead her away. While being dressed, Luna is surprised to see a magnificent carriage pulling up outside her window. A man's polished, elegant shoe steps down from the carriage. A handsome, blonde-haired nobleman calls out for Lady Pele's as he arrives. Stunned, Luna and her staff stare at the unexpected guest as she demands to know why he's at her estate. The man explains he stopped by specifically because of the gold mine business. He holds out an envelope, saying there's an addition to the contract that she should see. He flashes a dazzling smile, causing Luna's starstruck staff to swoon in the background. Annoyed by the interruption, Luna grumbles that it's not a good time. Her enthusiastic staff, wearing sunglasses, ushers the man in as Luna reluctantly invites him inside. Luna and the blonde nobleman walk together into a grand hall. Internally, Luna fumes over the absurdity of him barging in unannounced. He smirks, asking why she's so dressed up, and cheekily wonders if she's going on a date. He feigns disappointment, saying he was looking forward to it, leaving Luna to wonder what he meant. He claims he heard she was interested in him and asks if it was a lie, leaving her completely baffled. He reminds her that she wanted to meet the notorious psychopath, Anthes Vincent, instead of Fersen. Luna's eyes widen in dawning horror as she realizes the impossible truth. The blonde man smiles politely and introduces himself as Anthes Vincent. That's me. He clarifies that he is the eldest son of the Marquis Vincent and head of the Antares merchant group. Luna stands in stunned silence, barely able to process if she heard him correctly. Anthes Vincent maintains his polite smile, confirming her fears. Luna recalls that Anthes Vincent is the Empire's most ruthless psychopath, the novel's ultimate villain, and Fersen's rival. Trying to remain calm, she notes he hasn't been hostile, and then questions why he hid his identity. She confronts him for the deception, but he coolly replies that she would have run away if she'd known his name. He smiles gently, admitting that he found her quite interesting. Surrounded by flowers, a flustered Luna looks back at him, wondering what he means. Her staff watches the drama unfold like a movie, complete with 3D glasses and popcorn. Anthes Vincent continues to smile, ready to reveal his true interest. He explains that he's interested in the fact that she dislikes Fersen so much. Ah, I see. Luna smirks with understanding and tells him to leave if he's just going to talk nonsense. He simply smiles, unfazed by her obvious annoyance and sharp glare. Anthes Vincent explains that her boldness in visiting his merchant group alone and facing down his men caught his eye. He continues, saying that unlike other noble ladies, her calculating nature in securing her own share was admirable. Luna looks on, surprised, as he calls her truly special and attractive. Flustered, Luna shouts for him to stop his embarrassing compliments and just write the contract already. As she storms off, Anthes Vincent smiles, musing that her resistance is fascinating. He calmly follows as a flustered Luna hurries away from him down the hall. Meanwhile, At another estate, Luna's father sighs as he gazes at the building. He reflects on his 20 years of service at the Duke Rodrian's estate. He feels no regret about leaving, believing the ducal house never truly accepted a poor noble like him, and will be glad to see him go. Beaming with renewed purpose, he resolves to start a new life dedicated to his daughter. As he wonders if the Duke will accept his resignation, a frantic voice shouts his name. Fersen rushes up in a panic, demanding to know if the Baron is aware of what's happening with Luna. He claims that while Luna was away, she met that bastard, leaving her father confused. Fersen grabs the Baron, furiously exclaiming that Luna has a man in her life. The Baron tries to calm him, confident that Luna can handle herself, but Fersen shouts him down. Fersen insists that Luna was deceived by a scoundrel, convinced she would never willingly meet such a man. The Baron calmly asks who this man is, and Fersen shouts that it should be obvious. Fuming, Fersen rants that there's only one person who constantly hinders him and would now target his dear friend, Luna. Fersen identifies the man as the eldest son of the Marquis Vincent, assuming Luna is being held captive and must be rescued, but her father calmly stops him, saying he's mistaken. The Baron informs a shocked Fersen that Luna has already returned home. Fersen clenches his fist, stunned into silence by the news, declaring he must see her at once. Fersen grabs the startled Baron's arm and insists he come along. Fersen coldly interrupts the Baron's attempt to explain he has an important meeting with the Duke. Fersen explodes, angrily questioning the Baron's priorities and demanding to know if he even cares about Luna. He furiously questions how the Baron can even call himself Luna's father, leaving the man speechless. Back at her mansion, Luna reviews the intermediary contract, finding no issues with it. Still, she can't shake the feeling that something is bothering her. Annoyed by Anthes Vincent's persistent staring, Luna tells him to just say what's on his mind. He happily teases that her awareness of his gaze makes him happy, while Laura swoons over the love story and Luna insists it's just uncomfortable. Surrounded by blooming lilies, Anthes Vincent asks if her previous declaration of interest in him was genuine. Flustered, Luna asks why that's important, as Laura comically enjoys some snacks. He explains that her answer will determine how he treats her from now on. Deciding to end the misunderstanding, Luna agrees to tell him the truth. She explains she only used his name to convince others she wasn't interested in Fersen, and apologizes for dragging him into it. He asks if she still feels that way, leaving her momentarily confused. He clarifies, asking if she still thinks he's better than Fersen, and she declares he's 1,000 times better, a victory for him on the scales of her heart. Anthes Vincent gives a satisfied, charming smile. Luna's gaze sharpens with a sudden thought. She muses that just as she's plagued by rumors, maybe he is too, and decides to get to the main point. After a moment of silence, Anthes Vincent asks if she would consider going out with him. Luna is utterly stunned by his sudden proposal, dumbfounded. She can only stammer, "Huh?" as she stares at him across the table. She accuses him of talking nonsense, but he calmly states it's because he's interested in her. He explains that since they barely know each other, a relationship is the only way to get to know her better. He flashes a brilliant smile, gently asking if they can try. Utterly bewildered, Luna can only stare blankly as a flower on the table comically expresses its awe. She groans internally, realizing he always uses his sparkling looks to get his way as the flower cheers him on. Pointing the flower at him, Luna bluntly says no, leaving him surprised by her unexpected answer. When he asks why, she coolly points out that his expression isn't one of someone genuinely confessing their feelings. A sly smirk crosses his face as he admits she's caught on. Luna sighs, thinking that while he always tries to use his looks to get what he wants, people eventually catch on. He cheerfully admits others fall for it, but finds it frustrating that she's the first to resist, leaving Luna to wonder if he's just bragging. Smirking confidently, Anthes Vincent explains that her resistance is precisely why he felt like making his offer. He urges her to think carefully, suggesting it's not a bad deal for her, but Luna is still confused. He explains that the persistent misunderstanding about her and Fersen will never clear up as long as Fersen keeps spreading her name. Horrified, Luna realizes Fersen must have gone to the Vincent estate looking for her. Anthes confirms Fersen demanded he hand over, quote, his dear friend Luna, leaving her utterly disgusted. Surrounded by a shower of flowers, Anthes grandly proposes that she become his official partner. Still confused, Luna asks what he gains from the arrangement, and he thoughtfully considers her question. He cheekily winks and suggests a happy date with her, but she sees right through his joke, knowing he's not being serious. He smiles, conceding that jokes don't seem to work on her. Suddenly, he notes that he hears someone outside as a carriage approaches the estate. Hearing the carriage, Luna turns to the window, wondering if her father has already returned. Deciding to pause their talk, Luna tells Anthes they need to go downstairs so she can introduce him to her father, who will manage the gold mine. He calmly agrees as she turns to lead him away. As they walk, Luna leans in close to ask a favor. She quietly warns him not to say anything unnecessary in front of her father and to simply eat and stay quiet. When he asks why, she explains that he speaks too informally and she can't stand to see her father disrespected any further. He smiles reassuringly, promising to be plenty respectful to the Baron. He then playfully adds that since he hasn't gotten an answer to his confession, he wouldn't want to lose points, causing Luna to angrily shout at him to drop it. Her staff gushes, wondering if he's really her boyfriend and if the Baron knows. Their excitement grows as they realize that if this continues, their lady might actually get married. Downstairs, Luna's father greets her warmly, asking about her trip as she and Anthes approach. Just as her father mentions the perfect timing, Fersen's voice bellows Luna's name. Fersen storms in, furiously demanding to know why she left without telling him. Startled by his sudden appearance, Luna asks why he's there. Fersen's initial relief at seeing her safe vanishes when he spots a calm Anthes Vincent standing beside her. Fersen points an accusing finger at Anthes, declaring to the Baron that he's the scoundrel Luna met. Luna dismisses his claim as nonsense, while Anthes politely introduces himself to the shocked Baron Palais. With a flourish, Anthes announces he is the eldest son of the Marquis Vincent family. He continues, adding that he is also the head of the Antares merchant group. Gasp. The Baron stares in utter shock at the man's prestigious identity. The flustered Baron welcomes his esteemed guest, while Luna internally notes Anthes' sudden formality, just as she'd requested. Overhearing the conversation, Fersen looks shocked and confused about the mention of gold mining. Anthes smirks, telling Fersen to stay out of it since the contracts are official, but Fersen snarls back, accusing him of trying to scam Luna and her father. Luna's father snaps, shouting at Fersen for his rudeness to an honored guest and questioning his sanity. Fersen argues back, asking how the Baron can trust a known scoundrel, but Luna steps between them, telling Fersen he's gone too far. Enraged, Luna orders Fersen to apologize to her father and leave, dismissing his pleas to listen by shouting that he's the one who has lost his mind. The Baron puts a hand to his head, completely lost and confused by the escalating argument between his daughter and Fersen. Fersen grabs Luna, desperately asking her what is happening. The Baron has a sudden moment of clarity, realizing he was the one who was strange, as if he'd been forced to believe a false reality. A voice shouts Fersen's formal title, Young Lord Rodrian, causing him to look up in surprise. Her father sternly rebukes Fersen, demanding he cease his disgraceful and disrespectful behavior in front of their guest. While Fersen stands shocked, the Baron declares he can tolerate insults to himself, but will not overlook Fersen's treatment of Luna. He continues, stating that even if Luna and Anthes were in a relationship, it would be none of Fersen's business, leaving Fersen seething. With a desperate cry, Fersen declares that Luna belongs to him. Luna stares back, stunned into silence by his possessive outburst. Smack in a flash of motion, Anthes Vincent lands a powerful punch on Fersen. Fersen hits the ground hard, as Anthes stands over him, his fist still clenched. Luna and her father stare in wide-eyed shock at the sudden violence. Ugh. As Fersen groans on the ground, Anthes coldly tells the crazy bastard to get up. Fersen struggles to stand, questioning how he dared, but Anthes cuts him off with a sharp shut up. Anthes delivers a chilling ultimatum, threatening to kill Fersen if he continues speaking nonsense. Ugh. Terrified by the threat, Fersen recoils, clutching his face in fear. Kneeling on the ground, Fersen desperately calls out Luna's name. Fersen frantically points to Anthes, trying to convince Luna that this is his true, violent nature. Luna walks past Fersen with a cold expression, as Anthes wonders if he still hasn't come to his senses. Slap Luna stops and glares down at Fersen with contempt. Looking down at the kneeling Fersen, Luna delivers a final, cutting verdict. I hate you. Fersen protests that they're friends, but Luna shouts that they're done, calling him a rude, self-centered madman. As a voiceover agrees with Luna's assessment, she declares that she is not his possession. Furious, Luna screams at the bastard to get out of her sight. Luna remarks to Anthes that these arguments have happened before, and Fersen likely still doesn't understand. Stretching with relief, Luna admits it feels good to have said everything, blaming the whole ordeal on Fersen just being Fersen. Anthes advises her to make an excuse and call him the next time Fersen appears, leaving Luna startled. Anthes trails off, suggesting his involvement wouldn't be a very proper solution. Puffed, Luna thanks him for the thought, but says she's now more worried about him. She points out he just assaulted the Duke's heir, but Anthes brushes it off, offering to deliver more beatings if she wants. A small, amused smile appears on Luna's face. Looking refreshed and radiant, Luna strikes a confident pose. She gratefully admits that because of him, she was finally able to stand up to Fersen. Anthes begins to say that he's the one who should be thanking her. Suddenly, her father appears, complaining about being harassed by Rodrian Yangsik as his stomach grumbles, and Luna eagerly welcomes him in. Luna supports her stumbling father as they head back toward the mansion. She turns back and asks Anthes if he's going to leave without eating. Chuckle. Anthes gives a warm, gentle smile at her invitation. He agrees to join them, his acceptance glowing in the warm sunlight. Ho ho. Later at dinner, her father laughs, having finally heard the whole story. The Baron admits he misunderstood, while Anthes explains he would have cleared things up for his important customer's father. Anthes notes the Baron's calm demeanor makes him anxious, wishing he'd stay this way. Anthes reassures the Baron that the Imperial Auditor General will also join his journey, much to the Baron's surprise. As her father praises Anthes' business sense, Luna decides to just drink her wine. The Baron is pleased they're business partners, but admits he's also a bit disappointed. Thud. He exclaims he thought Luna finally had a boyfriend, causing her to chug her wine in frustration. Anthes looks on, a slight hint of a plan on his face as he prepares to speak. Luna internally seethes, wishing she'd sent her father away before he could say such things. Phew! Luna sighs in relief as she clarifies to her father that she and Anthes are not dating. Grab. Anthes cheerfully announces he's courting her one-sidedly and pulls her up, declaring they're going for a walk. Her father is left alone at the dinner table, watching them go. Outside, Luna asks why he said that, hiccuping as she insists they weren't finished talking. Thud! Stumbling, she explains she didn't want to worry her father further after he'd been so stressed. He pulls her close as she asks if he's listening. He gently drapes his cloak over her shoulders, remarking that her impulsive behavior was unexpected. She admits it's surprising, but she managed to chase Fersen away, while he thinks maybe he can be more lenient today. Blushing slightly, she admits that his actions today felt a bit cool. She finishes, and he smiles, suggesting they sit down first. Plop. Utterly drained, Luna collapses onto a nearby bench. As he sits beside her, Anthes asks her why she's lying. Luna asks why he lied, lamenting that she can't be effortlessly polite like him. He confesses he initially approached her just for fun, and she admits that's an annoying but expected answer. He explains this is the first time he's acted this way because no one has been worthy of his courtesy recently, asking her to forgive him. Blushing with frustration, Luna tells him to just stop his frequent habit of lying. She suggests he find other ways to look good, besides his charms, and he agrees to consider it. Sneak. As she peeks at him, Luna blushes while thinking his full name, Anthes Vincent. Luna reflects that while he's known as a psychopath, he's actually a rational and flawless man, a truly special existence. She questions how this man could have possibly been defeated by Fersen, in the original story she knows. A flashback reveals that in the original tale, Anthes was a cruel villain who opposed the protagonist, Fersen. His failure in a power struggle and subsequent demotion became the trigger for his downfall. This failure fostered a powerful sense of inferiority toward Fersen. As a chess piece is knocked over, the narration explains that Anthes' rage led him to commit evil deeds. Clatter. The shattered chess piece symbolizes his ultimate, terrible downfall, a fitting end for a villain. Back in the present, Luna sits on the bench and wonders if the man beside her is truly the same character from the novel. She muses that just as she changed her own fate, perhaps Anthes has also diverged from his original path. Flustered, she slides away from him on the bench, stammering nervously. Russell. Thump. He asks her to look at him and gently touches her chin, leaving her heart pounding in confusion. Thump. Her mind races as he leans closer, wondering if he's about to kiss her. Instead, he simply adjusts the cloak he had placed over her shoulders. Russell. He stands and says it's getting cold, and they should part ways before she catches a chill, leaving her stunned. He adds that the Baron will be worried, and she quickly agrees, flustered at what she'd just been thinking. As they walk away, she insists she's not drunk and tells him to let her go, but internally admits she's captivated by his face again. The scene transitions to a shot of the mansion, glowing in the moonlight. Elsewhere, a regal woman in a green dress is introduced as Duchess Rodrian. The Duchess asks a maid to inform her when her son arrives, but the maid reports a different visitor. The maid announces the arrival of the young lady from the Marquisate of Granada, much to the Duchess's surprise. A blonde woman in a peach dress sits up and cheerfully greets Duchess Rodrian. The young woman introduces herself as Sarah Granada, and the Duchess acknowledges her, noting it's been a while. The Duchess looks slightly displeased, questioning the reason for an unannounced visit. Sierra apologizes, explaining she came because she hasn't seen or heard from Lord Fersen in some time. She asks if Fersen might be at the villa, but the Duchess coolly asks what she's talking about. The Duchess informs Sierra that Fersen went to Baron Pally's residence that morning, questioning why she wouldn't have heard. Gasp! The news causes Sierra to collapse in shock as a maid rushes to her side. As a maid helps Sierra, the Duchess calmly asks her to explain what happened, suspecting trouble between her and Fersen. The Duchess recalls Fersen's broken promises to Sierra while his other fiancée, Luna, was visiting the palace. The Duchess expresses her shame as a parent for the distress her son's actions have caused Sierra. However, she finds it difficult to believe that Lady Palais is genuinely competing with Sierra for Fersen. Sierra tearfully claims Lady Palais shamelessly clings to Fersen, but the Duchess privately notes this doesn't match the rumors she's heard. The Duchess presses Sierra for facts, asking if she has any proof or just assumptions. The Duchess acknowledges Sierra's hurt feelings over Fersen's actions. However, she sternly admonishes Lady Granada for criticizing based on emotion, calling it no better than a common freeloader. The Duchess softens, saying her words are for Sierra's own good, but Sierra furiously insists. Luna is the cause of Fersen's strange behavior. The Duchess's gaze turns sharp and calculating. The Duchess questions Sierra's blind jealousy and wonders if the marriage should even proceed, expressing her deep disappointment. Sierra trembles at the Duchess's harsh words. Hic, sobbing, Sierra bows her head in apology. Phew, the Duchess sighs, thinking she went too far, when a knock at the door announces the young master has returned. The maid hesitates before delivering the news. The maid regretfully informs Lady Granada that the young master doesn't wish to see anyone right now. Sierra's face darkens in horror as she realizes it must be because of Lady Palais, and thud, she suddenly dashes away as the Duchess calls after her. Ignoring the Duchess's frantic call, Sierra runs desperately down the hallway. She bursts into a room, finding Fersen sitting alone and calling out his name. He turns, his bruised and battered face showing surprise as he recognizes Sierra. Rushing to his side, Sarah exclaims in horror over his injured face. She fusses over his wounds, worrying they might scar, while he quietly repeats her name. Thud. He gently pushes her hand away, coldly telling her to leave him alone. He clutches his head in despair, wondering aloud if Luna and that man are lovers now, leaving Sierra stunned. Standing alone in a dark, ominous space, Sierra wonders why everything has come to this. She internally seethes, claiming Fersen is her beloved and questioning why the Duchess blames her when she's done nothing wrong. Bound by symbolic red ribbons of resentment, she decides it's all Luna's fault and wishes she were gone. Her eyes glowing with malevolence, she fully embraces her intense hatred for Luna Pides. The Duchess's voice cuts through her thoughts, chiding her for acting so recklessly over a mere fiancé. Snapping back to the present, Sarah curtsies and apologizes to the Duchess for the trouble, preparing to leave. She offers a placid, unsettling smile as she bids the Duchess good night. The Duchess watches her depart with a thoughtful, suspicious expression. As Sarah leaves, the Duchess reflects that for a moment Lady Granada seemed like a completely different person. The Duchess orders her carriage to the Grana Marquisate, intent on settling matters with that lady. Elsewhere, in a carriage, Anthes and Luna discuss Sierra, with Luna admitting she finds it hard to believe she could be cruel. Anthes explains that high society rumors paint Lady Granada as a talented, gentle, and beautiful woman. Luna sighs, confessing that she used to believe that too. She recalls a hopeful version of their past, where a kind Sarah offered gifts and friendship. Roar. Then she reveals the desperate reality, a monstrous Sierra issuing threats and an invitation to hell. Anthes wonders if Sierra was always this way, or if Fersen changed her, but a gloomy Luna admits she's unsure. His gaze sharpens as he asks if it's true that Lady Granada humiliated her, and she nervously agrees. Leaning close, he reassures her not to worry, promising he'll always be by her side. A gentle, touched smile spreads across her face. As her carriage arrives at a grand estate, she feels shy but happy, admitting it's been a while since she heard such words. Awed by the magnificent mansion, a nervous Luna is about to enter when Anthes stops her. A butler greets her, confirms her appointment as Miss Luna Palace, and invites her to follow him. She follows the butler through the large, ornate doors of the marquisate. As she walks away, he calls out her name, causing her to turn back. He offers a warm smile, telling her to call if she needs help and that he'll be waiting for her. She smiles back gratefully before turning to go inside. Knock, knock. The butler raps on a heavy door deep within the mansion. Creak. The door opens, and the butler announces Luna's arrival to the guest inside. Luna finds it strange to have been invited by Sierra after their last unpleasant encounter. Sierra sits silently on a chaise lounge, her face obscured in shadow. Ahem. Clearing her throat, Luna cautiously takes a seat across from her. Luna politely asks Miss Granada the reason for the unannounced meeting. Sierra looks confused and distressed, insisting she did send notice that she would be visiting. Luna falls silent, her expression growing concerned. Noting Sierra's strange muttering, Luna worries that something is very wrong. As Luna tries to get to the point, Sierra suddenly staggers on her feet. Sierra collapses without warning, and a shocked Luna rushes forward, calling her name. Luna tries to help the trembling Sierra, who has fallen to the floor. Gripped by a sharp pain, Sierra clutches her head as a hateful memory of Luna surfaces. Luna frantically calls out to the gasping and semi-conscious Sierra, trying to wake her. Sierra turns to her, looking utterly dazed and asking, "Huh?" Suddenly cheerful, Sierra feigns ignorance about what just happened, though a flash of memory reveals her prior animosity. Deeply unsettled, Luna asks Miss Granada if she is truly okay. Slap. As Luna tries to help her, Sierra violently slaps her hand away, screaming for her to get off. Sarah tearfully accuses Luna of coming only to mock her for being abandoned by Lord Fersen. Luna is taken aback by the sudden, baseless accusation. With a soft ha, Luna scoffs at Sarah's claim, privately noting that Sarah always indulges in her own delusions. Luna recalls being warned by both Fersen and Lady Flowley that trying to reason with Sierra is useless. Swish! Having had enough, Luna turns to leave, coldly addressing Miss Granada. Rummage. Luna pulls out a pouch, reminding Sierra of her past insults, before slapping a wad of cash on the table. Luna declares she's returning the money Sierra once threw at her tenfold, ordering her to take it and disappear. She sternly tells Sierra to handle her own problems with Fersen, and to never bother her again. Enraged, Sierra screams at Luna not to mock her, accusing her of planning to sneak around with Fersen anyway. Unfazed, Luna calmly addresses Miss Granada one last time. Luna's expression turns sly, as she suggests that perhaps Sierra actually wants her to do just that. Sierra is left utterly speechless by Luna's unexpected comeback. Luna declares the matter settled, stating the money has been returned and she hopes to never see her again. With a final goodbye, Luna turns her back, leaving Sierra completely stunned. Seething, Sierra mutters in disbelief, terrified that if this continues, she will lose Fersen for good. A look of desperate resolve hardens her face as she stammers to herself. Bang! Sarah bursts out of the room, frantically ordering her guards to catch the woman who just left. Thud. As Luna flees, guards give chase with the order to capture the woman in the blue dress. Running down the hall, a bewildered Luna wonders what on earth is going on. Luna glances back calmly as the guards continue their pursuit through the grand hallway. Swish. A hand gently rests on her head as a man's voice tells her she did well and can leave the rest to him. She looks up to find Anthes, who has stepped in to protect her. Luna tries to protest, but he calmly reassures her not to worry. Anthes stands his ground, calmly facing the oncoming guards. Swipe a guard lunges with his sword, telling Anthes to get out of his way. Slap. Moving with incredible speed, Anthes effortlessly strikes the guard down, calling him too slow. Thud! With practiced ease, Anthes begins to neutralize the charging guards. In a flash of motion, he efficiently disarms and incapacitates all of Sarah's knights. Ugh. The last guard falls as Anthes finishes his swift, brutal work. Swish! Anthes dismisses the fallen guards as disappointing, while Sarah watches in shock. Standing over the defeated men, he coldly asks if this is how the Granada family welcomes its guests. Trembling, Sierra finally recognizes him as Anthes Vincent, but he tells her his identity isn't the important issue here. Sierra stammers nervously, clearly flustered by his pointed remark. Yell panicking, Sierra points at a surprised Luna and screams that she was the one who insulted her. Smirk. Anthes gives a knowing smirk, clearly not believing a word of it. Sierra stands helplessly, surrounded by her defeated guards and cornered by Anthes' intimidating presence. Release. Anthes tells Luna the matter is settled and they can leave, though she protests that she was the one who acted out. Whisper, leaning close, he simply whispers to her that it's okay. He smiles, suggesting they'll just pass it off as a crazy event that Anthes Vincent handled. Luna looks completely bewildered by his nonchalant attitude. Clack, clack. As they walk away, Luna calls out for him to wait. She thanks him for his help, but explains she had planned to handle it on her own. Flustered, she asks why he helped and insists she has no way to repay him as he chuckles. He takes her hand as they walk away, promising he'll always be there for her. Clink, clink. Now, in a carriage, Luna asks if he's sure he's all right after the fight. He asks if she's really concerned for the knights, but she clarifies her concern is only because of Lady Granada. She frets that if he keeps this up, he will be called a murderer on top of being known as a madman. Anthes waves his hand dismissively, saying he doesn't care about that at all. Changing the subject, he asks what had made her so anxious earlier, leaving Luna hesitant. Intertwining her fingers, Luna confesses to Anthes that she's actually been feeling very uneasy. She quietly wonders if her actions are right or if this path is truly what she wants, admitting she's been confused the whole time. Recalling images of her past conflicts, she confesses that she still feels like she isn't good enough. Haunted by the shadow of a monstrous Sierra, she fears she's become the villain for hurting her and questions if she's on the wrong path. Her internal monologue ends with a single, pervasive thought. She's suddenly very worried. Sigh. Back in the carriage, she covers her face in distress while Anthes looks on. As the carriage travels on, Anthes' voiceover states that he doesn't know what she's so confused about. He astutely guesses her anxiety stems from being unable to control her actions and her fear of being judged by others. Struck by his insight, Luna looks up as he advises her to listen more to her own heart. A light bulb moment occurs, and Luna's expression brightens as she thanks him for helping her sort out her thoughts. Resolved, Luna decides to live her own way, declaring she is not a pitiful villain like Luna Palace. Clatter, clatter. Now clear-headed, she asks Anthes to drop her off at a carriage rental shop. She explains that since she was being chased earlier, she now needs to quickly find a proper carriage for her dad. Admitting she is bad at judging carriages, she suggests it would be better to have someone knowledgeable with her, glancing hopefully at Anthes. Their carriage pulls up to a large, handsome-looking building that serves as the rental shop. Luna's expression shifts to one of shocked and dawning recognition. Anthes asks if something is wrong, and she hesitantly replies that she has been to this place before. In a flashback, her father is scammed by a man using a fake referral for Antares Top, only to be accused of wrongdoing himself. Anthes confirms her fears, stating his agency doesn't use referrals, which leaves Luna shocked. Anthes tries to pull her away, calling the place a scam, but Luna insists they stay. When he asks why, she explains that this is, unfortunately, the only place that rents out high-end carriages. A man approaches them as Anthes smirks, asking if he understands why it's a bad idea to mess with the Antares name. A nervous Luna tries to stop him from starting a fight, but he laughs and reassures her they'll handle it peacefully. Luna tells him she will take care of her business while he finds them a carriage. She sighs, resigning herself to the situation. Her expression hardens with skepticism as she thinks about his promise of a peaceful solution. Tap, tap. Anthes casually rests a heavy rod on his shoulder, looking ready for anything but peace. Rub, rub. A man is shown crying and begging for mercy. The scene reveals the man groveling on the floor before Anthes, as a surprised Luna wonders how things escalated so quickly. Jingle. An unsuspecting customer walks into the now quiet room, asking if anyone is there. The new customer says he's here to see a carriage, while Anthes tells Luna that the man seems to trust him completely. A flashback reveals a scammer pressuring a man into signing a contract for henchmen. The man agrees, and the scammer smirks, pleased with himself. Back in the present, Luna feels a strange, tense atmosphere, sensing something is wrong. The scammer tells a new target that the place is trustworthy, though there's a small introduction fee. Suddenly, Anthes interrupts, asking if the man is talking about the Antares trade union. Eek! Thump! The scammer collapses in terror upon recognizing Anthes. Anthes fixes the terrified man with a cold, menacing stare. The man looks up in utter horror, realizing he's face to face with the head of the Antares trade union. Anthes calmly asks the trembling man why he's still running this scam when he knows who he is. Backpedaling frantically, the man claims it's all a misunderstanding, and he was definitely not using the Antares name for money. Clack! Anthes blocks the man's escape, cornering him. Slam! Lies! Anthes declares, while the man who was nearly scammed looks on in shock beside Luna, looming over the terrified fraudster. Anthes remarks that he seems to run into people like him periodically. He leans in, offering to show the man something. Gleam. With a dangerous glint in his eye, he asks menacingly, "How about it?" Trembling violently, the man immediately starts screaming apologies and begging for forgiveness. Ta-da! A stunning, ornate white and gold carriage magically appears before them. Frozen in surprise, Luna stares as Anthes asks if she's satisfied with the best quality carriage. She marvels that the carriage looks fit for a princess and asks how it could possibly be free, but Anthes just says they got lucky. Luna finds Anthes utterly unpredictable, noting his cold demeanor is reserved for threatening people like the shop owner. Ah! In a memory, a burly, scarred man worries about finding a henchman that fits his schedule. With Luna watching from afar, Anthes asks if the scarred man is the one she was thinking of, making Luna realize this is how she must have looked when she first arrived. The scarred man turns as someone calls out his name. In the flashback, Anthes instructs the man to seek out the Antares trade union at the crossroads. He continues, promising that if he brings his recommendation letter, the union will surely help him. Luna reflects on how surprisingly gentle Anthes was in that moment, making her wonder if she herself appears to be a normal person. She contrasts this memory with the novel's brutal description of Anthes as a violent, bloodthirsty dog. This stark difference between the man she knows and his reputation is why she always felt so conflicted. A close-up shows a faint blush on her cheeks as she continues to ponder her complicated feelings. Thanking him for his help today, Luna offers to treat Anthes to a meal before they head back. Turn. She tells him she heard of a good restaurant nearby and asks if he can spare the time. Anthes pauses, looking thoughtful and somewhat surprised by her sudden invitation. He fondly recalls the meal from yesterday, wishing he could eat with her every morning, which causes a flustered Luna to tell him people will get the wrong idea. Laughing, Anthes agrees to act like it's a date, while she glares and warns him to behave, or he won't even get soup. Bam! Bam! A sudden, piercing scream erupts from Luna's residence. Anxious, two of her maids exclaim in shock that her boyfriend has returned for another meal. Zap zap! In a flurry of panic, Luna frantically orders them to prepare a grand dinner, catch ducks, and get new tablecloths and flowers. Trapped, Luna reluctantly agrees to treat him, but tries to tell her maids that a normal meal is fine. Anthes clarifies that he came after all, but he only wants a simple meal of bread and soup. The maids protest that he hasn't eaten, but as Luna insists on a nice meal, Anthes firmly cuts her off, saying it's fine. He takes her hand, explaining that he only came because he wants to have some private time with her. Gentle, he gives her a warm, reassuring smile. Sparkle. Oh. The maids are completely captivated by the romantic scene unfolding before them. Let's eat a cute chibi. Anthes happily holds a knife and fork, ready for his meal. Absolutely not. Luna internally fumes, suspecting he plans to freeload and wondering why he doesn't just eat at his own nearby house. Shalala. Feigning a hurt expression, Anthes asks if she would really cast her savior aside so callously. His guilt trip leaves her completely flustered and speechless. Angry, she stammers a contradictory, "Of course not, yes." And one maid notes with alarm that her defiant speech bubble has changed. Rustle. Her maids gently push her from behind, urging her to have dinner with him. They happily tell her it's much more fun to eat with many people anyway. The two maids excitedly discuss dinner plans and fetching the Baron's wine, leaving a blushing Luna unable to refuse. Anthes watches the cheerful scene unfold with a pleased and knowing smile. The scene shifts to a grand room where a man's voice reassures Baron Pales that it is nothing. Baron Pales holds a golden chess piece, remarking that his guest has never visited before and that the reason seems obvious. His guest is revealed to be Duke Rodrian, who holds a matching golden chess piece. Swoosh! Duke Rodrian waves his hand, telling Baron Pales there is no need to explain. Sparkle! Holding the glowing piece, he assures the Baron that he has already heard all about the recent events. Thud, thud! Baron Pales remarks that the Duke is always one step ahead in business, but the Duke dismisses it as normal for news to travel. FWIP. The Duke's expression suddenly turns sharp and serious. Fwump. As Baron Pales looks down, the Duke states that if only he had been told sooner, he would have celebrated the Baron's good fortune grandly. Dazed, a confused Baron Pales looks on as the Duke expresses his disappointment in his reaction. Ho ho! The Duke reminisces on their long history, calling it a pity the Baron didn't partner with Rodrian business to mine gold efficiently. The Baron offers a sincere apology, but Duke Rodrian's expression darkens as he finally addresses the real issue. Holding the gleaming gold chess piece, the Duke asks if the Baron still refuses to sell him the gold from the mine. Baron Pales explains that while he appreciates the offer, he cannot accept because the gold mine now belongs to his daughter. Duke Rodrian smiles, pleased with this news, noting that this makes everything concerning the contract Luna's responsibility. The Duke proposes a scheme. If Luna claims she was tricked, they can nullify the contract without a legal battle, and he'll even help with compensation. Baron Pales falls silent, contemplating Duke Rodrian's manipulative proposal. With a firm expression, Baron Pales resolutely states that he cannot do that. As Duke Rodrian listens, the Baron reiterates that the matter is his daughter's to decide, and apologizes. A tense silence settles between the two men after the Baron's refusal. TSK. Duke Rodrian shows a flash of irritation at the Baron's defiance. The Duke internally scoffs at the Pales family's weakness for entrusting such a vital matter to an inexperienced girl. He fumes, thinking the foolish nobleman should have been easily swayed, but is now being uselessly stubborn. Deciding to let it go for now, Duke Rodrian forces a dismissive laugh. Flinch. He laughs loudly, startling the composed Baron Pales. The Duke feigns an apology for being rude, saying he forgot their close family bond and agrees to discuss it later. Click-clack. As the Duke raises his cup, he says he has one more thing to say, making the Baron ask what it is. Pause. Baron Pales announces his wish to resign from his long-held position under the Duke's family, confirming he is retiring. Duke Rodrian takes a slow, thoughtful sip of tea, his expression unreadable. Click. Setting his cup down, the Duke expresses confusion at the sudden news and says he'll have to consider a successor. With a cool gaze, the Duke dismisses Baron Pales for the day, telling him to return later. Baron Pales agrees to return another time, a hint of relief on his face as he prepares to leave. Bow. He gives a formal bow before departing from the Duke's presence. Creak. Click. Once the door closes, Duke Rodrian sits alone, his placid facade gone. His expression darkens as he coldly orders his attendants to call for Fersen. Sweep. A hand swings through the air as a young man calls out fearfully, "Father." Slap. Thud. Thud. Duke Rodrian violently strikes his son Fersen across the face. Ugh, the Duke looms over Fersen, who has been knocked to the floor by the force of the blow. Stumble. Fersen trembles on the ground, clearly terrified of his father's wrath. The Duke seethes, telling his son he never ordered him to foolishly do nothing. Wobble. As Fersen struggles to his feet apologizing, the Duke tells him he has a task for him. The Duke grills Fersen on his failures with the cotton business and trade goods, to which Fersen can only stammer apologies. Tremble. Fersen flinches, bracing himself as his father changes the subject. The Duke menacingly asks if Fersen knew that Baron Pales' daughter owned a massive gold mine. Fersen's eyes fly open in utter shock at the revelation. He cries out in disbelief, realizing with horror that Anthes must be targeting Luna's gold mine. Anger. The Duke erupts in fury, screaming at Fersen for his incompetence, despite knowing about the mine. Grabbing his son's hair, he calls him a pathetic fool for letting the gold mine slip away while Baron Pales and a maid watch in terror. Trembling, Fersen apologizes, and his father declares he is giving him one last chance. Thud. The Duke violently shoves his son's head down, commanding him to secure the mine by any means necessary. With a threatening glare, he orders Fersen to bring the gold mine to Radrian merchants. Squeeze. He grips Fersen's shoulder tightly, demanding to know if he understands the command. Yes, father. He looks up, his eyes filled with fear and desperation. Later, Baron Pales is startled when someone at his office door is identified as young Master Rodrian. The Baron questions why Fersen has suddenly appeared in his office. Fersen looks away, asking why the Baron seems even worse than a few days ago and what happened. He confesses that despite his earlier anger, he always believed in the Baron, who is now the one making him worry. He fondly recalls a childhood memory of running to the Baron's home, where he and a young Luna warmly welcomed him. He explains that the Baron's home was the only place he could feel like an ordinary boy, not the burdened heir of a duke. His memories of the Baron's kindness were his only solace. Turning back to face him, Fersen desperately pleads with the Baron. He begs Baron Pales to help him just one more time. With a flushed, desperate face, Fersen begs the Baron to let him have the gold mine. He explains that his father's anger is worse than ever because the mine didn't go to Rodrian. To receive his father's forgiveness, Fersen declares he has no choice but to take the gold mine business rights for himself. Swish. Baron Pales turns away, insisting that even the Duke agreed the decision regarding the mine isn't his to make. Flustered, the Baron begs young Master to get up, horrified by his desperate behavior. Still on the floor, Fersen desperately bargains for at least the distribution rights or a small transaction. Baron Pales tries to reason with him, urging him to stand and clarifying his earlier statement. After acknowledging the mine is Luna's, Fersen shifts his strategy. With an intense gaze, Fersen changes his plea and asks to meet Luna directly. Fersen attempts to manipulate the Baron, urging him to tell Luna her childhood friend is in danger to gain her sympathy, which appalls the Baron. The Baron firmly turns him down, repeating that it's simply not possible. He apologizes for being blunt, but explains that his patience has worn thin. Clench. Announcing that it's time for him to leave work, the Baron tries to dismiss Fersen. Fersen slowly stands up, silently refusing to be dismissed. Acknowledging the refusal, Fersen coldly notes that this is the Baron's final answer. Turn. Feeling abandoned, Fersen declares that he has been left with no other choice. He issues an ultimatum. Either the Baron produces a contract to sign over the mine, or he arranges a meeting with Luna. With a menacing expression, Fersen declares that the Baron is forbidden from leaving the mansion until he complies. The scene shifts to Luna sitting on a sofa, looking deeply annoyed. Sip. She fumes internally, exasperated that Anthes stayed over and is acting like he owns the place. As she worries about her father's wagon, a maid urgently calls out her name. The maid presents a letter from Duke Rodrian's house, surprising Luna. FWIP. The letter is promptly handed to her. Luna reads the letter from a man named Jillian, which states her father is safe at the Duke's residence. Her suspicions grow as she feels a letter just to confirm his safety is a sign that something is terribly wrong. Springer jumps to her feet, determined to go to the Rodrian mansion, and tells Anthes to go home. Russell. Anthes refuses, insisting on going with her because her father's safety is more important than any awkwardness. Draping a cloak over his shoulders, he urges her to depart with him quickly. Nod. Seeing his resolve, Luna agrees to let him accompany her. They arrive at the grand Rodrian estate, where a butler asks if they're looking for the Baron. FWIP. Luna explains she came because of the letter, presenting it to the man. Creak. From beneath his hood, Anthes carefully observes the butler's reaction. Fwish. Sensing deceit, Anthes whispers to Luna that the man seems to know nothing, while she asks if her father is really there. Realizing they've been misled, Luna resolves to search for her father on her own. The two walk down a grand hallway, beginning their search within the vast mansion. Meanwhile, the aide, Jillian, furiously confronts Fersen for sending his letter to Luna, but Fersen claims he had no choice. Creak. Fersen looks at the captive aide and pointedly asks if he doesn't want to go home either. Thump, thump, thump. In a sudden turn, Luna now stands before Fersen as he tries to justify his actions, claiming he worries for her. Smack. Before he can explain, Luna slaps him across the face, leaving him utterly shocked by her sudden appearance. Anthes watches, stunned by her violent reaction and asking why she did it. Shaking with rage, Luna orders a stunned Fersen to shut his mouth. Her eyes glowing with fury, she unleashes her anger, calling him a son of a bitch. She confronts him directly, screaming at him for taking her father hostage after she already rejected him. Screaming, she demands to know why he is being so cruel and strange. Luna stands defiantly as Fersen reels from her furious outburst. With tears in his eyes, Fersen chokes out that they were supposed to be friends. Their broken friendship is symbolized by their divided silhouettes casting distorted reflections. A flashback shows a young person crying alone under a tree. As he sniffles, a familiar voice calls his name, asking why he is there again. With tear-filled eyes, the young boy looks up in surprise. A young Luna appears, offering her hand to him with a gentle expression. Taking his hand, she asks if the Duke scolded him again, and he sadly admits it. Sniffling, a young Luna comforts a crying person, telling him to stop and wipe his nose. Sobbing, he holds out his hand and asks Luna to wipe his nose for him. Hick, hick! As he wails that he can't stop crying, an annoyed Luna shouts at him to wipe it himself. A flashback montage reveals Fersen's harsh upbringing as a noble heir, with Luna angrily noting he was never taught simple things. Clasping her hand, a young person promises that he won't cry anymore. With tears still in his eyes, he begs her to please stay by his side. Young Luna looks back at him, her expression softening at his earnest plea. He continues to sob quietly. In her thoughts, Luna calls Fersen a dummy and a fool. Despite her thoughts, she gently wipes his tears away with a handkerchief. She playfully chides him about his runny nose, but he insists it's just more tears. A gentle smile appears on Luna's face. Smile. Her expression brightens into a warm, radiant smile. Humming contentedly, she leads him away by the hand. Back in the present, a tormented person confesses that he survived because of her, and that she's his only friend. His expression darkens as he admits he can't stand seeing her with Anthes, and won't let her leave him. A dark silhouette captures the confrontation, with Fersen declaring, "I won't allow it." Fersen internally resolves that he will save her, that he has to. Luna thinks to herself that she understands Fersen's pain, because she lived through that childhood with him. She reflects that Fersen's obsession with Luna Palace was perhaps his only escape. She laments her fate in the story, forced to become a villain and die unfairly to ensure the main character's happy ending. Biting tight, clenching her dress, she questions why she must keep suffering for him just because of a story's plot. As Fersen clutches her arm, she desperately wonders when she can finally break free from him. Russell, Anthes steps forward, looking resolved, and asks what he should do. Startled, Fersen whirls around, demanding to know why Anthes is there, as Anthes remarks on the strangeness of their so-called friendship. Anthes icily informs a stunned Fersen that he is the true villain in Luna's life. Reeling from the accusation, Fersen collapses to his knees, mumbling that he didn't mean to. Knock, knock. As he continues muttering, a sharp knock at the door interrupts the tense scene. Creak. Baron Pales enters, asking about all the noise and stopping in surprise. HMPH. A formidable noblewoman arrives, noting she heard that Miss Pales was visiting. With a stern gaze, she questions why a guest is causing such a commotion instead of waiting in the living room. She declares the scene very rude as she walks past Anthes toward her kneeling son. Her eyes narrow as she spots the red mark on Fersen's cheek, demanding to know what happened to his face. As her attendants whisper, she asks Fersen if he was badly injured in a fight with their guest. An attendant stammers, trying to explain who the guest is. Whispering, the attendants identify Anthes as the disgraced Vincent Rodrian, a battle maniac, and question why he hasn't been kicked out for assaulting Fersen. Luna grows distraught, realizing her worst fears have come to pass. Panicking, she clenches her fist, determined not to let Anthes suffer for her sake. Smack taking charge, Luna claps her hands and loudly tells everyone to calm down. She declares that Sir Vincent is here to help her. She touches the brooch at her collar, preparing to do something drastic. Boom. A brilliant light explodes from her chest, stunning the room. The entire room is frozen in shock as Luna glows, with the Duchess, Baron Pales, and a kneeling Fersen looking on. Startled, Anthes stares at Luna in complete surprise. The Duchess and an older man cover their mouths, murmuring in disbelief at the display. Awkward. Baron Pales wears an expression of utter mortification. Stuttering nervously, Luna realizes the gravity of what she's just done. Her eyes wide with panic, she internally screams, "What the heck is going on?" Sweating profusely, she internally panics about what she's doing as everyone stares. She desperately tries to think of an excuse to salvage the chaotic situation she created. Holding Luna, Anthes dismisses her reminder about his duties, saying nothing is more important than her. Anthes teases her, playfully suggesting she can't bear to be apart from him, leaving him no choice but to stay. Startled, Luna panics internally, begging everyone to understand and not make the situation more complicated. Cough. The Duchess says she won't question Vincent's presence, while a defeated person thinks she is lying. The Duchess demands to hear about the important matter, and Luna nervously begins to explain. Luna explains that her father went to work and never returned, which is why she is there. Flinch. As she expresses her worry, Baron Pales reacts with unease in the background. Ahem. Baron Pales claims it's a misunderstanding, and that the young master came voluntarily. The aide, Jillian, refutes the Baron's claim, explaining Fersen came to his office last night and refused to leave. Jillian tearfully explains he's being held against his will, leaving the Baron speechless. The Duchess decisively ends the conversation for the day. With a stern look, she declares they will arrange another time to discuss the issue. Appealing to Luna as a mother, the Duchess asks for her help regarding her son's condition, and Luna reluctantly agrees. Creak, click. The Duchess departs, leaving Luna with a look of grim resolve. Outside, Luna helps the exhausted Jillian into a carriage, asking if he's all right. Jillian assures her he's physically fine, but admits the mental shock of being confined was immense. Gripped tightly, Luna tenderly holds her father's hand, softly calling out to him. Flame. Baron Pales furiously vows to punish Fersen, as Anthes observes that Luna is back to her fiery self. As they prepare to leave, Anthes asks Luna about her plans, but she admits she hasn't thought that far ahead. Anthes suggests filing a complaint with the Duke if their argument isn't convincing enough on its own. He warns her that the Rodrian family is known for denying fault and falsely accusing others. Anthes offers to call a lawyer he knows to help her prepare, and she gratefully accepts. Nervous, Anthes admits there is something else he wants to say to her. Luna apologizes for her earlier outburst in the mansion, explaining what she said. She offers to take responsibility if rumors spread, and asks him to forget it, but he playfully asks what if he doesn't want to, startling her. Jillian cheekily peeks out of the carriage, asking if he interrupted a private moment with her lover, causing Luna to panic. Swings open, Baron Pales bursts back into the room, welcomed by the surprised shouts of the household staff. A maid explains she was worried about Luna and now has even bigger news to share. Dashes out. Her father excitedly announces that Anthes and Luna are officially dating, much to Luna's horror. Luna protests that she asked him to keep it quiet, but her father insists good news must be shared. The maid chimes in, agreeing that while it's sudden, it's a happy surprise. An older woman eagerly discusses party preparations as Luna frantically begs them to stop. Deb. As Luna tries to explain she had no choice, Anthes steps forward to intervene. Anthes smoothly backs up her story, asking, "Isn't that right?" The household staff stare in shock at his confirmation. Anthes gallantly explains that the gentle young lady only accepted because she was afraid he would be hurt. Agape. Luna and her maid are stunned by his bold declaration. Shout. The maid passionately defends Luna, insisting she's just shy but truly likes the young master deep down. Jab, jab, jab. Pressured by her maid, a frantic Luna denies that she's playing with his heart. With fiery eyes, the maid intensely presses Luna for the truth. Intense. Trapped, Luna stammers while Anthes watches with a sneaky, satisfied smile. With a jump, Luna finally confirms their relationship, sending the staff into a celebration as she wilts in defeat. Over dinner, Baron Pales proudly gushes about how admirable Luna has been since childhood. He lovingly recounts a memory of her making him a flower ring, while a miserable Luna wishes she could disappear. Acknowledge. Anthes agrees, recalling that the young lady would show acts of kindness when she was little. He explains her sweetness is why he fell for her, prompting an eager Baron to ask for more details as Luna protests. Bow. Anthes' attention shifts to the doorway as he notes someone has arrived. A pair of polished dress shoes steps into the dining room. Bow. A man in a suit introduces himself as Royer Trust, the personal lawyer of the Vincent family. Luna introduces herself to the Vincent family's lawyer, Royer Trust, mentioning she heard he was being called. Royer apologizes for the abruptness of their first meeting as he approaches her. Royer leans in close, asking Luna if they can please come to an amicable agreement this time, making her uneasy. He presses again, asking if she really can't come to a peaceful agreement as she stares back, resolute. A brief, tense silence hangs in the air. FWIP. The lawyer turns away, stating firmly that he has no intention of doing that. Bow. In a dramatic display, Royer acts out a scenario, bowing deeply and apologizing for the damages caused by Anthes while offering compensation. However, Luna reads from a scroll, stating that money won't suffice for both material and mental damages. Fwish. Anthes steps forward, interrupting to tell Royer that he has misunderstood the situation. Placing a hand on Luna's shoulder, Anthes declares that Lady Pales is his client, a fact Royer knows well. A flabbergasted Royer exclaims, "What? Young master didn't do anything wrong to the lady." Relieved, Royer explains that he rushed over thinking something was wrong and wonders what trouble Anthes usually causes to warrant such an urgent summons. Anthes dismisses the lawyer, saying it won't work and offering to find Luna another one, which surprises her. Frown. Anthes sternly orders Royer to return to his mansion. "Ha ha ha!" Royer laughs, asking who's joking and insisting Anthes needs his help, but Anthes simply tells him again to go back. Royer confidently asserts that he is the only lawyer in the Empire who can handle Anthes' temper, drawing a sharp glare from him. Sigh. Royer lets out a sigh, seemingly defeated. He peeks out from the carriage door. As Luna's thoughts note, he doesn't seem to have the courage to actually leave. Luna concludes his skills must be guaranteed since Anthes introduced him, just as Anthes playfully confronts Royer by the carriage. Smiling, Luna formally hires Royer, inviting him to discuss the matter over a meal, which leaves him stunned. Overcome with emotion, Royer praises Luna's compassion and vows to get the best results, shaking her hand with intense vigor. Remembering his past anxieties about a case, Royer reassures himself that with careful preparation, there should be no problems. Bright. Both Luna and her father smile with relief as Royer tells them not to worry. Over dinner, Baron Pales expresses his relief at not being sued, and Anthes reassures him, though admitting it's a possibility with Duke Rodrian. Boo-hoo. Royer dramatically recounts a time Anthes broke a duke's son's limbs out of extreme anger, highlighting the family's contentious history. Pat. Anthes pats Royer's shoulder, pointedly calling his name to cut him off. Anthes tells Royer he said too much and suggests he head back now that his work is done. Royer defensively argues he's just providing helpful information for the client, while Luna internally notes she's never seen the relaxed Anthes so flustered. Moved, Luna covers her mouth, feeling a wave of extreme relief. Haha. Baron Pales laughs, reassuring Luna that Royer is trustworthy, especially since he came recommended by Anthes. The Baron and Royer laugh together, with the Baron remarking that boys will be boys, full of difficult-to-control energy. Shocked. The casual conversation takes a dark turn when Royer mentions the Duke hit his own head with a rock, stunning the Baron. Crash. Crumble. A wine glass lies shattered on the floor. Drip. Anthes apologizes, claiming he accidentally broke the glass, but Luna sees his bleeding hand and suspects it was deliberate. Baron Pales expresses concern for Anthes' hand, wondering if bad memories caused it, but Anthes calmly brushes it off. While wrapping his bleeding hand, Anthes explains that their endless arguments needed closure. He states he was prepared to take the blame, but Luna silently recalls that Fersen was the one who threw the first punch. The maid praises Anthes' thoughtfulness, while Baron Pales asks again if his hand is all right. Royer expresses his newfound trust in the Baron. Dazed, Royer continues, professing his feelings are for the daughter he loves, shocking the Baron, before quickly proposing a toast. Clink. Clink. The group toasts to the new lovers, leaving a gobsmacked Baron Pales staring at the clinking glasses. The Baron and Royer share a moment of mutual, stammering shock over the revelation that Anthes and Luna are dating. Utterly overwhelmed, Royer mutters in disbelief that his young master is in love. Ah. Thud. The lawyer faints from the shock, and Baron Pales shouts his name in alarm. Luna rushes to check on Royer, while Anthes calmly sips his wine and quips, "Just let him die." Shiver. Royer slowly comes to, shakily reaching a hand out toward Lady Pales. Raise. With a bloody nose and a renewed sense of purpose, Royer gives a thumbs up, declaring his official support for Anthes, crazy guy, and Luna, the one that crazy guy supports. Luna stares in confusion, trying to understand his bizarre declaration. Anthes smiles softly, telling Luna that today is their anniversary and that she should spend time with him. Flustered, Luna grabs the day's lawyer, demanding to know what nonsense he's spouting. Smile. Kneeling beside him, Luna sweetly reminds Royer that he promised to help her with anything she needed. Baron Pales expresses his curiosity about Vincent's, Anthes' childhood, asking him to share more stories. The Baron turns to Luna, asking if she's also curious, but she questions how knowing would affect her. Flustered, Anthes internally recalls the incident with Fersen, wondering what could be worse than that. With a polite smile, Luna declares she'll hold back her curiosity for now, as it's getting late. Her demeanor shifts as she subtly threatens to investigate everyone's past if they don't finish the meal in silence, realizing the initiative is now hers. Sweat. A nervous Anthes stares down at his meal, clearly intimidated by her veiled threat. The equally terrified Royer quickly stammers his agreement to her terms. In an internal monologue, someone envisions Luna as a powerful and undeniable king on a throne. The thought continues with awe, declaring that a true monarch has finally appeared.